What's up, the world? This is what Tommy Maryland. I just came in real quick because I wanted to talk about this whole situation with Scottie Pippen. Now, those who don't know, let me explain, because a lot of people don't know this. Scottie Pippen is my second favorite player of all time. Okay, I would say second or third, but I would definitely put him in my top three players of all time. Then it'll probably be LeBron, Scottie, then AI, then Dwayne Wade. And then probably 5 will probably be Kevin Durant. These are like my top 5 players. This is not saying the people I think are the top 5 players of all time. They're just top 5 players that I always rooted for. I would put those 5 in there. But with Scottie, I love the way Scottie played. Scottie was always an unselfish player. He always did whatever his team needed to do to win, and he never really got the credit he deserved for what he did. I've never been a Jordan fan from the time I was a kid because I never really liked the way Jordan played. Way I grew up, I had a lot of players on teams that I was on or who played in pickup games or whatever you want to call it, where they thought they were Jordan, and I hated the effect he had on games. Right? And then it stopped being Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. Those guys, they played more team first. Larry Bird, they played more of a team first game. Michael Jordan was the first player to come in and just start chunking up shots and he was getting applauded for it, right? And so my generation was the first generation to really feel the effect of that. You start getting all these super selfish players who didn't give two shits about the team winning. They just cared about scoring points. So they would come in and they would just start chunking up shots. And they didn't have to play any defense. They didn't have to rebound. They didn't have to pass. Everybody else did everything and passed them the ball and they shot. So you got a freaking generation of these terrible players who could shoot and do nothing else. So after a while, what ended up happening was the NBA turned into just a league full of the most selfish, me-first players you will ever find. And it created a generation of the most selfish, me-first players that just, and until LeBron came in, it was that, right? But nobody focused on who made that team what it was, and it drove me crazy. Jordan wasn't the person who made that team what it was. Scottie was. But nobody gives Scottie his credit, right? As I said before, Scottie took the Bulls to the conference finals and was a hair away from making the finals without Jordan. Jordan never even got out of the first round without Scottie. So you sit there and you ask yourself, who was more important to that dynamic? The guy in Scottie or the guy in Jordan? Was Jordan more important, the guy who can chunk up a bunch of shots? Because the minute Jordan left, I make the argument, if Horace Grant hadn't have left that year, the Bulls probably would have been back in the conference finals again. They probably would have been there without him, but they lost Grant because they didn't want to pay him either. So they ended up losing Horace Grant. They didn't have anybody to replace him, and so Scottie was essentially by himself. They were still above water, but they were nowhere near what they were before Horace Grant. Before when they had Horace Grant, they let go of Horace Grant because Jerry Krause is a piece of shit who always him and Phil Jackson, have we now found out, I said a couple years ago, do I think Phil Jackson is racist? No. Do I think Phil Jackson plays for the home team? Yes, I do. And this is exactly what I mean. Phil Jackson, you heard what he said. Phil Jackson has always played for the home team. And when Scottie said that, he got a whole bunch of backlash of people saying he's this, he's that, and then next thing you know, a sober mind, you know what I mean? A drunk heart a drunk mind tells a sober heart. And you saw what happened with Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson is at a point of accomplishment and money that he doesn't really need to watch what he says, because he doesn't work anywhere and he doesn't really need to. So he just spoke his true heart. He's drunk with money, so he spoke his true heart. I didn't like that. I stopped watching it. It annoyed me that they were talking about this Black Lives Matter stuff. But this is a guy who was famous for going out and protesting for white shit, like the ability to smoke and all this other dumb shit, going to war because they didn't want to get drafted. All this when he was going through something. And the minute that black people are trying to do the same thing about issues they going through, then he turns into the exact thing that he hated. And this is what happens with a lot of them. These liberal, open-minded people. They're very liberal when it comes to shit that affects them, right? Like homosexuality, because a lot of them be secretly gay. Women's rights, because a lot of them be smashing sluts and be wanting them to get abortion, so they fight for abortion, because the truth of the matter, they don't give two craps about women's rights. They just want the ability to be able to fix mistakes they make. And where they can get paternity suits, over millions of dollars. So yeah, they're very liberal when it comes to abortion and all these other things, because they want to have that ace in the hole in case they do something stupid. And it's the same thing. I don't trust. That's why I always say about liberal people. It's like liberal people are very liberal when it comes to stuff that they feel has a direct correlation to them. When it comes to stuff that don't, they seem to not speak, right? Like I said, when it comes to black issues, most of the time, only black people speak up about it, right? Most of these uber white liberals who can't open, if it's something said about a woman, if something said about a gay, these white liberals can't keep their mouth shut. Someone said about a Jewish person, someone said about, if you say something about an Asian person, these white people cannot keep their mouth shut. But the minute you say something about a black person, go check their Twitter feed. None of them say anything. They never really speak about it. They never talk about it. But the minute Kanye West said something about the Jews, all of them jumped up and spoke on it. They doing SNL skits and the whole nine. The minute the whole situation started happening with these Asian people, you couldn't turn on CNN without seeing it. Right? But all these things that these Asian people been doing to black people for years, nobody has worked. You ain't never seen that on CNN. You never heard them talking about that shit on CNN, because they didn't like the discourse regarding the demographic. Meaning they didn't like that black people started to look elsewhere for blame other than poor white people, because that's their general target, the general target of their reporting, to make black people hate poor white people. But that aside, we get into the discussion about the Jordan and Pippen situation again, right? Narratives are generally fueled by truth or anger, and sometimes both, right? When a person is angry, but yet they have a relationship and they have a level of loyalty to you, they tend to not speak. Scottie didn't speak on these things before, and everything he's saying now has always been true, but Scottie has never spoken on it, because Scottie always felt a level of loyalty to Jordan. But after Jordan did that stupid ass documentary where he essentially spent 3 days bashing Scottie Pippen, Scottie started saying F it. If that's the way you want it, then that's the way you want it. But realize, just because you Jordan doesn't mean that I can't speak my truth just like you spoke yours. And it's just like a lot of people are fans of you, LeBron has a lot of people that are fans of him. So if I start speaking truth about you, it's those LeBron fans, they will back me just like your friends back you, and it'll be him and you, not me and you. And he did that. And I think what makes it so crazy to me is the people that are attacking Pippen. Oh, Pippen tripping. No, tell me where he lied. He said, before I got there, the Bulls were trash. They were. They were hot garbage before Scottie got there. They immediately turned around. He immediately turned that team around. Scottie did, not Jordan. Jordan was doing the same shit he had been doing the last 5 years before that, just chunking up a bunch of shots. Scottie was the point guard. Scottie was the head of the snake on defense. Scottie was the person getting the rebounds and all this extra shit, getting people in positions. That was Scottie. Scottie was the leader of that team. Jordan wasn't the damn leader of that team. Jordan was the pariah of that team. You notice when they did a story, I saw they did a documentary on Luke Longley. Every player that was contributing from Rodman to B.J. Armstrong to John Paxton. I mean, you go down the line of all these players. They were all there. They all participated in Luke Longley's documentary. All of them. Do you realize the only people that participated in Michael Jordan's stupid-ass documentary were Bill Wennington, who I don't even know if he started for them, and Horace Grant for like 2 seconds. And he ended up getting in a fight with Horace Grant after that. Right? That was it. So you trying to tell me he's the leader of the team, the leader of the freaking team, and nobody on the team liked him? People weren't taking their orders from what did what's his name? What did Cartwright say? And they had to take an old interview because he wouldn't even participate in that stupid ass documentary. He said he said, we were hurt by what Scottie did because Scottie had always been a team first player, and they thought in their mind we was rid of that when Jordan left. But that was some bullshit for them because you guys should have had Scottie back on that. Instead, y'all threw him under the bus because everybody and their mom know that they wanted Tony Kukoc to be bigger than what he was. They thought Tony Kukoc was going to be the next Larry Bird, and his ass sucked. He couldn't play any defense, just like 90% of those Euro players can't play defense. Bruh, it's very easy to get in the gym and learn how to shoot. And you focus all your time and your effort on shooting. That will be 100% fine, but you got to be able to get open to shoot. You got to learn how to shoot when you contest it. You got to learn how to create your own shot. You got to learn how to play defense. You got to learn how to pass. None of those things matter. They can shoot, right? So Jerry Krause was enamored with Tony Kukoc. And Scottie, who had taken his garbage-ass franchise from obscurity to the biggest brand in the NBA, and your repayment of him is to underpay him. Then when he gets on a stage that can help his legacy surpass Michael Jordan's, you keep giving his opportunities to a guy who ain't even been on a team that damn long. Yet they're looking around like, oh, well, Scottie was selfish. Scottie wasn't selfish. That team was selfish. They screwed him over. Your idea is to underpay him, right? Underpay him. Then turn around after you underpay him and underutilize him. Make him use all his skills to make Tony damn Kukoc look good. You writing up plays for Tony Kukoc in the huddle and surprise this man like, what the hell is going on? I'm the best player on the team. Why the hell are you writing up plays for Tony Kukoc? Well, Tony had made 3 or 4 shots that year. Well, who gives a crap? He shouldn't have been shooting them. Why did he make that many shots that year? Why did he keep writing up plays for Tony Kukoc? So Scottie's the one doing all the damn work to keep them in the game, and then when the glory is on the line, you gonna write up a play for Tony Kukoc? It was the height of bullshit. And to sit around there and see these players try to throw that documentary tries to throw Scottie Pippen on the line. Let's get one thing straight about Scottie Pippen and the difference between LeBron and Jordan. Think about it. LeBron has always benefited the person he stands next to, both financially And statistically, he makes sure, say what you want. All those players that played with LeBron, KCP, Brandon Ingram, Alex Caruso, Kyle Kuzma, Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith. I mean, go down the line, right? These players benefited financially from being associated with LeBron James. They got contracts. They not only got contracts, they got really, they learned the game well enough because he utilized them well enough so that they can find niches that they were able to use in other settings that allowed them to become great players. LeBron is the reason why Kyrie Irving got his contract with Nike. LeBron is. You trying to tell me Jordan didn't have enough pull to get Scottie a contract with Nike? Jordan, he couldn't do nothing. There's nothing he could have done to help Scottie get because Jordan is a selfish bastard, right? And you making $35 million a year. You know your homeboy is being grossly underpaid, and you turn around and tell him that you think it's selfish for him to not play for $1 million while you playing for 30-some million. He's paying for $1 million, and you got a contract with Nike where you making close to $100 million a year. Someone explain that to me. Someone explain how that man is not considered the biggest scumbag you ever meet in life. I have never liked Michael Jordan, and I've always researched shit about him. He's a terrible person. And to sit up there and make a documentary where you sit up there and try to throw this man after all this man got nothing. You got your 6 championships. You don't move into your godhood among these idiots, and your false godhood among these idiots, and you now you this, that, and the third. And Scottie Pippen got nothing. He got people saying he didn't contribute. He was a below average player. All this stuff to help your legacy. Then the man gets tired and just starts telling the truth, and all these people start attacking him. They're attacking it's because of Larsa Pippen. Oh, he's mad Larsa Pippen. You think Scottie Pippen and Larsa Pippen have been together for years, right? You think that Scottie Pippen gave 2 shits about Larsa Pippen? When he met that lady, he was like 30 years older than her. He knew that the lady wasn't in it for nothing but the money, but that doesn't matter, right? Scottie, this is not over Larsa Pippen. Scottie started doing this after that documentary came out, and that's because it's a direct correlation between the fact that Scottie had always been loyal and quiet. He never spoke on anything. He never said anything about anybody. He would say certain things every now and again, and they would attack him, and he just kind of let it roll. But Scottie has gotten to the point where he just doesn't care anymore. His legacy has been tarnished. They have been working on chopping down that man's legacy ever since LeBron James started doing what he's doing. And every time LeBron James beats a record, here come Jordan coming in to chop down Scottie Pippen. Like I said, Jordan is just a terrible person to be attached to because his fans are nut jobs, and there's no benefit to it. What did Scottie get out of playing next to Jordan for the years he did? Besides undervalued, underpaid, and then you're connected to one of the worst narcissists in the history of life that went out of his way to try to not speak up. He's like, oh, well, Jordan said we don't win those championships without Scottie Pippen. Then proceeded to spend the next 3 hours bashing Scottie Pippen. It's like, man, people can say what they want, and I know people will, because some people are stupid. So the first thing they want to do is say, well, Jordan, it wasn't really Scottie's fault because, it wasn't really Jordan's fault. Scottie's just mad. Scottie's just mad. It's like, bro, everything he said is true. The Bulls were garbage before he got there. Jordan is not a great, well-rounded player, and there's a reason why he don't have any records, because he was never great at one thing outside of chopping up, throwing up a bunch of shots. That's what Jordan was great at. Did he have a skill set to develop all those other things? Yes, but he did not have the mindset to develop those other things. He was the most selfish player you ever meet, and he's never going to do anything that doesn't glorify him. So he could have been a great facilitator, but he would never do it. He could have been a great rebounder, but he would never do it. Because those things don't benefit him. What benefit him is getting high-profile dunks, scoring 40, 50 points, and while everybody else is doing everything else, he's getting all the credit for scoring the most points. And that's who Michael Jordan was. I hate when people compare Kobe Bryant to Michael Jordan because their game wasn't the same. Kobe was a better three-point shooter than Michael Jordan. He was a better passer than Michael Jordan, and he was a better defender than Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant had a higher basketball IQ. He took one aspect of his game from Jordan, and that was his intensity, his competitiveness. That's what he stole from Jordan. Other than that, all you stole, that's the only comparison they have. Outside of that part of his game, his competitive edge, that's it. That's all Kobe took from Michael Jordan. But they'll compare Jordan. I would say that Kobe later in his career, his game more resembled Scottie Pippen than it did Jordan. But he had to be Jordan at times because their team didn't really have the scoring without Kobe. But Kobe could do both. Kobe did both. And this is the difference between Kobe and Michael. Do I think that Michael was a better player than Kobe? Yes, obviously. Do I think he was a better player than Scottie Pippen? Yes. Was he a more versatile all-around player than Scottie Pippen? No. But his impact on the history of the game is way higher than Scottie Pippen's value and his mark on the game. So I would give it to Michael Jordan because of his impact and the things he did. But when you're talking about nuts and bolts, how to actually play in the game, if I could pick between bringing on Michael Jordan or bringing on Scottie Pippen, I would pick Scottie Pippen hand down. If I was building a team tomorrow, I would pick Scottie Pippen before I would pick Michael Jordan, and that's just facts. A 6'8", 6'9" guard that can dribble like a forward that can dribble like a guard, that can rebound, guard your top player on defense, and still give you 20 to 30 on 20 points, 7 assists, and about 9 rebounds. Yeah, I'll take that guy. LeBron before LeBron, yeah, I'll take that guy. I'm not taking a guy who unless I put a bunch of people around him, unless I find another Scottie Pippen, he will be virtually useless. And that's just facts. If you take Scottie Pippen away from Jordan, he has never been good. He has never been good without Pippen. Name the season that he was good. Even at the height of his fame, when Scottie decided that he was going to sit out, they sucked. They were losing the bottom feeders. Why? Because he cannot win without Scottie Pippen doing everything to cover up for all the things he couldn't do. So if you mad that Scottie Pippen finally just was like, F that, y'all want to keep throwing dirt on my name, let's go. Because I'm going to tell you what the truth of the matter is. When he said, oh, well, why do you think Jordan came back from retirement? Because he knew if we won a championship without him, that he would never be able to fix what he did. Oh, Scottie, I hate him. What do you think about Phil Jackson? I think I'm okay. It's like, yo, you saying Phil Jackson's a racist? I'm okay with that. Oh, Scottie's wild and he just mad because this, that, and third Phil Jackson comes out and says one of the most racist shit you ever hear. He stopped watching basketball because they were talking about Black Lives Matter. Oh, snap. Scottie might have a point. He's not wilding. He's not just saying stuff because he's mad. He's just telling the truth. And he doesn't care about narrative. He's just telling what he thinks now. And we are not in a position to hear this because he's saying things about people that we want to exalt. That's your problem. Scottie ain't got to live up to what you think should be done when it comes to players. He's gonna speak what he truly believes, because he's at the point of what more can they say about me? What more can they do to me? So I'm gonna speak the truth, and the truth is, Jordan wasn't what y'all think he was. He's a highly overrated player that shot a lot of shots and couldn't win shit when I wasn't there. So you can cry about it, you can kick and scream about it. At the end of the day, LeBron is a better player than that dude was. The shit LeBron is doing, Jordan never could do. He ain't taking no team, 3-4 teams to NBA Finals with no second star. That shit ain't happening. He ain't getting out of the first round without a second star. Because all shit he can't do are important things that your star player needs to do. Isaiah Thomas, he had players around him, but Isaiah Thomas was the piece that they could move. They kept moving different places, people around him, right? With Adrian Dantley and this one and that one, they were bringing different people in, and the pieces around Isaiah were moving, but Isaiah was consistent because Isaiah could play defense, he could pass, he could shoot. So everybody else just needed to be pieces to give him breaks. Isaiah was that. Larry Bird, the pieces around him were consistent, but ain't nobody doubted who the most important part of that lineup. Parrish ain't nothing without Bird. McHale ain't nothing without Bird. Dennis Johnson was great. They had players around Bird, but Bird could do everything. He could pass, he could shoot. Bird could run point guard. He can just fill it up and give you points. He can guard your top defender. That was Bird. Magic, I would say he's another overrated player. Magic, I mean, James Worthy would have been great with anybody. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was great before Magic ever got there. Was Magic a huge piece? Yes, but he's a highly overrated player. You have people who rate him over Kareem, which I think is just complete and utter ridiculous. I mean, completely and utterly ridiculous. I know what do you rate Magic Johnson over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? It's because Magic Johnson was more flashy. He was more of a sellout. And that's why he ended up becoming a millionaire, and Jordan became millionaire because they fit in that world perfectly. They know how to talk to white people and make them feel safe. And there's nothing wrong with that, because some people do. But if you're going to do that, you're probably going to get a lot further in life, and those people are going to probably give you more glowing recommendations and opportunities, because they feel they can trust you to only do something. You're not going to come in there and try to bring a whole bunch of other black people with you. You're just going to take what you get and be happy with it, and leave everybody else to die. And I think that's the truth. Nobody is doing that because they think because they're trying to do what's best for black people. You know who Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan are going to put first? Themselves. and they have always put themselves first. And it's funny because I say this all the time. At some point, you gotta have some morals, because a house would just be, no matter how big your house is, at some point it will just become a house you live in. No matter how big your car, how many cars you get in, at some point you can only make a car so different before it just becomes the same car over and over and over again. It has the same essential parts: pedal, step, music, drive. No matter how luxurious it is, a car just becomes a car. A house becomes a house. A trip to whatchamacallit just becomes another trip. It's not when your life, when you live that life to where you're a millionaire for that many years to do whatever you want, at some point you lose sight of what it means to be those things and what it was like before you had those things. So then it doesn't become the high life, it just becomes your life. And once it becomes your life, all you gave up to get it seems like it's not worth what you gave up. Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, are cut from the same cloth. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar never got asked to come in and help out with the Lakers and work in the front office or work on TNT or anything like that. Why Kareem Abdul-Jabbar don't get those same opportunities that Michael Jordan, the Charles Barkleys, the Magic Johnsons? Right? Why doesn't he get the same opportunity those people get? Oh, because he's not like those people. Kareem speaks how he feels. And he's always been conscious about black people and stuff like that. Same reason why Jim Brown kind of got pushed to the back once he left. Because certain people, they can talk and they don't want them saying what should be said on live TV. They want them saying dumb shit. And regardless of that, I will say this. Let me say this as I end up in this conversation. I did put up a video after the Lakers and the Nuggets lost. I don't know what happened to it. I uploaded it, never came on. I went to go check the progress of it, never found it. I don't know what happened with that situation. I might upload it just cause. But I don't know why it never uploaded. I did everything, went through and then just never uploaded. So if you want to check that out, I'll try to upload it with my final review on the Nuggets Lakers game. But it was I don't really have time to go through it, but you can check it out. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened to that. I don't really pay attention once I upload stuff, so a lot of times I'll come back and just check comments or something every now and again, but I don't really look at the upload. So I thought it was uploaded and it wasn't. But please let me know what y'all think about this whole Scottie Pippen situation. Thumbs it up if you like it. And if you're not subscribed, please take the opportunity to subscribe. All right, y'all. Peace.